So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We will now have the hearing of the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect. If that's in accordance with the Bergen County Freeholder bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the board attorney will announce the time has expired. Please fill out the slip of paper with your name, address, and general topic you wish to speak about. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Rob Hermanson from Mawa. Councilman, excuse me.
It says not one from the sheriff. I said, I know it says not one from the sheriff. Sorry, just a joke. Good evening. First, again, great honor for any time I was chair of Law and Public Safety. I know what these guys and these men and women do for us, and I really do appreciate it. Actually worked out pretty well that I came in here at the time when I did. I didn't even know about it. I'm here for a couple of things. One, the culvert on is being done. I think is being finished up on 202. The homeowner that's there, Mrs. Rodriguez, just asked if someone would just keep in touch with her of what's going on because there's some things on her punch list that they're supposed to be working with, and she wants to make sure that those are done before anybody just finishes off. Because what I was told by her that she was saying that you're pretty much done as of this week, but this is pretty much you're finishing up everything. So to make sure that that was taken care of, that she would appreciate that. So that's one. Two.
Let me just interrupt you. If you could just
Sure.
give the number to Mr. Niels.
Sure, I'll give it to you after. That's fine. Two, and the thing that I'm here the most for, which is actually kind of segued to this, is the police. You know, I sat on that board 7 years ago, and I told everyone that the biggest mistake to do was the merger of the county police along with the sheriff's department. I said it was political. I stated there was going to be no money saved, that there was going to be lawsuits, and that people were going to lose jobs, and that this was not going to be a good thing for the county, and that there would be a black eye. Well, last week there was a major black eye here at the county. We have lawsuits. There are a ton of them. There's more coming. We all know about it. There is no savings. There hasn't been any savings. And I would hope that you guys would figure out something to look in the eyes of these people who've lost their jobs, who couldn't find jobs, people who gave 19 years, 18 years of service, who could not find a job afterwards to go back to another cop because they couldn't go in at the levels that they wanted to, because they would have gone in at a much lower cost of what their standard of living was, and find something to figure out a way to fix the injustice. I think after last week, everyone knows and saw what the mistake that was made. And there are a number of things that are definitely going, these lawsuits here, that I think are now strengthened more than weakened over what happened. So I would hope that this board fixes it wrong, finds a way to do this, and figures out a way to help save the taxpayer a lot of money, because I think that there is going to be a lot of money spent in this due to these lawsuits, which is something that I had predicted 6 years ago. I don't want to be right. I didn't want to be right then, and I don't want to be right in the future. But this is something that is definitely here. It's not going away. You guys all know about it. You all signed off on this. Every one of you thought this was a good thing. And we told you it wasn't. But you rammed this down the people's throats. Mr. Tedesco was all about this and made sure that this happened. It was a mistake from that day. It's still a mistake. Fix the injustice.
I slowed it down for you. What are you talking about? I started the clock when you got in the parking lot.
You didn't even know it was here. Probably phone just fell over when you saw me.
Jump
201.
for joy.
You know, 2 weeks, 825 9145. Like I said, she just wants to make sure that there's a couple of things that are done on that company. You can talk. She'll explain to you. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you for bringing that issue with the homeowner to our attention. and we can agree to disagree on some of your statements. We
Disagree more than agree?
could probably disagree more than agree. I think we've proved that there's been savings, and there will continue to be savings, and what has transpired in the last week doesn't give all those years of good work a black eye. Chuck Powers.
Chuck Powers, TNEC. As of 5 o'clock this afternoon, I actually was planning to spend the evening at home, but two things happened. One, I want to express my appreciation for the detailed account that you folks got from the county executive about the issues of mosquitoes, what they are threatening to do to this county, and what it is that the county is mounting a major effort to try to address that concern with. As many of you know, in one former life, I was professor of environmental and occupational health and medicine at Rutgers Medical School. These issues of trying to relate what to do with the spray that you folks are going to be hitting much of the county with, apparently, and how that relates to what it is that the public ought to do to protect itself, really require that everything that Mr. Tedesco told you gets expressed throughout the county to people. I actually attended an age-friendly meeting in TNEC this morning, and a number of the older folks said, we had no idea this was happening. We left our windows open, and as you heard this afternoon, that's not a good thing to do for either people or pets. It's really important that what you are doing, why it's being done, be fully explained to the public. The second issue is also one that actually I only discovered this evening when I went back. Do I hand this to, who do I hand these to get these? As one of hundreds of Bergen County people who saw the whole process by which this county went about trying to figure out how to get public input and public knowledge about its park system in the development of a master plan, was an extremely important thing. And I remember driving 40 minutes one night to get to a meeting so that I actually could participate in both of the different sessions that you provided for the public to participate in that. But for the last several weeks, that's for the last month, I've been trying to figure out whatever happened to that report, that master plan report. Because it apparently was, I didn't see it, apparently was on the website. And a number of us from Bergen Grassroots are very interested in reading that as we go about trying to understand sort of where the county is going on major policy questions. I'm simply asking this Board of Freeholders, if you folks know where the report that it's, as you can see from the website tonight, it says that it is somehow going to be available sometime. It's very important. A lot of us spent a lot of time trying to understand what was going on with the master plan and what the town was doing, the county was doing in its major investment in parks. And it's very important that we know what the results were and what it is that the citizens told you about what ought to happen as a result of their input into your master plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. First, I would like to address is please don't be alarmed or afraid that your windows were open. Any town that is going to have the spraying is going to have a reverse 911 or some type of system, whatever the town offers, to alert those residents. So if you went to bed with your windows open, we probably weren't spraying your town. We're spraying in the towns that are the most highly affected by the West Nile virus. So
our town was sprayed,
so you should have gotten a reverse 911 call. That is what our administration has set up. And as far as the master plan, I don't know if our county administrator would like to comment on that.
So with regard to the master plan, it was up and there was public comment that was received. They are now reviewing that. The plan is going to be revised, and then the latest version of the plan is going to be put up again, and then there'll be opportunity for public comment again.
Okay, thank you. Leah Rowland, did I get that right?
Spell your name, please. Good evening. My name is Leah Rowland.
I am very mindful of your huge responsibility.
Excuse me, can you spell your name for our,
The name?
can you spell it for her, please?
I can.
I can't.
Leahroland.
Are you an English teacher? Because you sound just like my English teacher.
I am a resident of Leonia. I'm sorry, one hearing aid is in the shop and the battery of the other one gave out. All this golden age stuff is a crock. So I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
You sounded like my English teacher. I was wondering if you were an English professor or anything.
No,
Okay.
I never had the honor of being an English teacher. Thank you for asking. I find that very flattering. But I find what you do enormously important. I'm mindful that you are the people who are responsible for the health and well-being of Bergen County residents, over 1 million. We are a big, important community. Insofar as it is important, I feel, for you to remember that the residents of Bergen County are not just humans like you and me, but there are innocent animal residents as well. And they are very significant to our ecosystem. We need to be mindful of their health and well-being as well. I find it so sad and disappointing to see that the land that the surrounding communities, Leonia, Pagoda, Palisades Park, contributed very generously and warmly to the community for our mutual benefit. I'm grateful for some of the really wonderful things that have happened in our community, and I thank you for that. But I do feel that the concept of a dinosaur park is a huge mistake. For children to learn about dinosaurs from this part of the world, they can take a 20-minute trip into New York and have the scientific experience of visiting the American Museum of Natural History, where there are real dinosaur fossils and real curators to teach them about this important scientific aspect. So I do hope that you will keep in mind that we are an integrated community. We have an ecosystem. Not only the humans, but the animals need to be protected and need to be looked after. And there is no animal freeholder board. You're it for humans and the animals. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. George Raskaskis.
George, last name Reskakis. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I'm back. So, there's so many things I'd rather be doing tonight, but I'm here. And it's because I care about animals and the environment. And because I care about animals and the environment, after the last time I was here, I started thinking about some of the things that I heard you folks say. And one of the things had to do with the 78 acres, and specifically that it was a dump. And I went back and looked at the maps. And when I looked at the maps, what I found was of the 78 acres, the part that was actually dumped on was 14 or less. And as a matter of fact, even more importantly, of that 14 acres that was the dump, it's pretty much all concentrated at the beginning of Old Fort Lee Road off of Teaneck Road. Not where the 300-spot parking lot is going to be, which is what we've all been told. One of the main reasons that that parking lot was going to be there was because you had to remediate all this dumping that was there. And, I mean, let's face the realities. Back in the day, before 80 and 95, the way you got to Fort Lee was you took Fort Lee Road. And when they built the highway and had that dead end, people would drive down the dead end and dump their stuff on the side of Old Fort Lee Road. That's where all the junk is. So, my plan says, instead of building the parking lot where you want to build the parking lot where there is no dumping and doesn't require any remediation, well, you got to remediate the beginning of Fort Lee Road. Let's put the parking lot there. You're going to bus people to Overpeck Park anyway. So as far as I'm concerned, it seems to make a lot more sense. With respect to the dinosaur park, I'd prefer to have a nature preserve in that area. I think that's what we need. Finally, everyone keeps telling me no decision's been made. No decision's been made. No decision's been made. Well, folks, it's time. Make a decision. You have all the information. This has been bouncing around since 2016. I saw the letter of intent. You all have. So it's not like this is brand new and that you're going to get new information. There is no new information. It's time to decide, especially you folks who have an election coming up. It's time to decide. It's a shame that Mr. Tedesco left, because it's time for him to decide. It's time to stand up and say, no Dino Park. It's time. Decide. Don't keep telling me, yeah, well, we haven't decided yet. There's no decision. Decide. Just say no. Thank you.
What's that, Steve? Okay, thank you for your opinions. Rachel Stern?
Rachel, R-A-C-H-E-L, Stern, S-T-E-R-N. I don't think I can be as articulate as the previous two speakers. I just want to let you know that I'm very concerned about what's happening in Overpeck. I live in Leonia, and I'm getting wild animals, blocks and blocks, from Overpeck. Animals that don't belong in my neighborhood. And I know why they're there. They're there because we're destroying their environment. We're destroying their habitat. And the dinosaur park is just one more step. And I would please ask you to consider them and to not put the dinosaur park there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Louis Dispola? DiCipola? Close?
Sure. Louis, L-O-U-I-S, DiCipola, D-I-S-C-E-P-O-L-A. Hi, resident of Hackensack, sorry. And I appeared also the last time on August 1st on this issue of relocating the dinosaur park to Area 2 of Overpeck. And I expressed my strong opposition to that. And I'm here again to also express my strong opposition. Since then, I had the opportunity this past Saturday to spend time with Sierra Club. They had a table set up in Overpeck, and we're collecting petitions to oppose this proposal. And they were also, getting people also to sign up for election. And while I was doing that, collecting petitions, I got to meet a lot of people. And I was also, kind of, impressed to see that there were so many different people from even outside of Bergen County that came and were enjoying Overpeck Park. I think I ended up speaking, I was only there for a couple hours, maybe to about 40 people. And every one of them, when they learned about this issue, a lot of them were actually outraged to hear about this. And all of them opposed it and signed the petition when I approached them on this issue. Not one person that I spoke to, and I walked around pretty much throughout the park, supported it. So far, the only one I ever heard support it was on August 1st. August 1st was the Teaneck mayor, and he acted like a thug that night. So I guess that's the type of character that you have supporting this proposal. But I haven't heard no one else support this who's not making money out of this. At this meeting, in the park, I've walked around. I'd be interested to know who's supporting this, actually. But I have not heard one person supporting this. And I spent a lot of time talking to a lot of people in Overpeck. So please seriously consider this. This is the will of the people, okay? And there are people up for election. You're supposed to be environmentalists. Please do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you. All I just want to, I appreciate everyone's comments. Everyone knows we're up for elections, and everyone knows elections have consequences. So by you coming up here and telling us that we have an election, we're well aware of our elections. I hope that's not meant to try to intimidate anyone up here to vote one way or the other, but everyone has opinions, and I would hope that we can respect each other's opinion. Freeholder Tinelli?
Thank you, Chairman.
Can we finish?
Oh, okay.
Good.
I thought you were done.
I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, you guys don't have to come up and say that. Just like the chairman said, we understand we're on the ballot this year. I'll put my 5 years and Tracy's 5 years sitting up on this dais and what we've accomplished and what we've done out to the voters in November 6th. You guys don't have to keep coming up saying, make a decision, make a decision. Nothing's come before this board yet to make a decision. So you can keep coming to the meetings. We appreciate your time and efforts, and you can keep telling us how you don't want the dinosaur park. And when we get the paperwork to review, then we're going to take all this under consideration. We have nothing in front of us to make a decision. So you need to understand that. So you want a decision, there's nothing to decide. Okay, thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Dan Torino.
Don.
The penmanship looks like Dan, I'm sorry.
Take a minute off his time.
Hello, here I am again too. I'd like to propose something. I'd like to take everybody on a class trip. I'd like to take everybody on a walk at that dinosaur park area and to really, I bet you none of you have really looked inside it, but if we could do that sometime, I'd be willing to go out there, especially during migration time, and show you what's really going on out there and what we really stand to lose. We can't go backwards. We can't really, we've come so far in this county, did so many wonderful things, and to go through with that, leave the dinosaur park where it is. It's fine back there, and that's fine. If somebody enjoys it, who am I? But I don't want to see it harm or permanently destroy that habitat. And I really believe that if we can go out there together and really look at things, and I could explain to everybody what we're seeing and why it's so important and why everybody in the county really needs to have a place, another place that they can go and enjoy nature. And I love to help everybody, because that's what I do. That's what I do in all my time. I help people, introduce them to nature. I take them out, and that's been my life for the last 10 years or more, to take people out almost every weekend. And tomorrow we have a nice walk over at the new Overpeck, where we'll be taking people around. You're welcome to join us. We'll be out there. Everything we do is always free. And we have a wonderful relationship with the county. We have a wonderful butterfly garden at the equestrian center. Steve has been there, and it's gotten bigger and better than ever. At Teaneck Creek, we've done so much work there. And do you know that we've been doing great work at the county golf courses? I don't know whether everybody knows that. We introduced bluebird boxes back, and we got bluebirds again at our county golf courses. And you want to talk about mosquitoes? We gave bat houses to Orchard Hill Golf Course to put up to help with the mosquito issue, and we're still willing to do that. So my point is that we could work together. We could do a lot of those same things in that area of Teaneck, in that area, and work together to make it a wonderful, wonderful place for everybody. And I hope I get the opportunity to do that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Torino, first of all, I do want to thank you for so much of the great work that you're doing, and I also want to thank you for highlighting some of the things and really bringing to everyone's attention that hasn't come out in the media, how collaboratively we have been working on open space preservation, on increasing the funding that we're doing to take things away from bulldozers and put them into preserves. But one little thing that you said that was kind of sticking in my craw is, we couldn't go to that spot right now because it's closed to the public, because it's been a dumping ground in need of remediation. And so it is actually a danger for people to utilize that space or be there. So you're making a representation that this is land that is open for the public to enjoy at this point. Right now, it's not. We want to clean it up. We want to do what's right there, and we want to make sure that there's opportunities for people to enjoy our parks in every way possible. So I just want to underscore that, because I think that to so many people, there's a misrepresentation about what this land is and what it isn't, and what work has to go on there and what is going to be unfortunate as far as some of the cleanup efforts that still need to go on. So I just wanted to clarify that for the record, but we are so excited to continue to work with Audubon and Sierra Club and the Trails Association to continue. We have over 9,000 acres in our park system, 6,441 of them are forests and open space that are untouched. There's only 167 acres that are asphalt. We are actually so focused on making sure that there are opportunities like in the Meadowlands to continue to bird, like in our so many different aspects of our park system. So I don't want there to be a misconception about this board's commitment to making sure that we are good stewards of our environment. We will continue to work with you. I know you've met with the county executive on this issue, and that we're going to continue to have communication in this regard. There is nothing before this board to decide, and then when there is a final decision, we will all work collaboratively, I'm sure. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you.
Still take a walk there, I won't tell.
Thank you, and again, not to beat a dead horse, I pointed out the last two meetings, Freeholders has so eloquently pointed it out now, that parcel of land is not open to the public, so, that is what it is. Laura Tracy Call.
Laura, L-A-U-R-A, Tracy, T-R-A-C-E-Y, Cole, C-O-L-L, Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Of course, I'm here to support the Overpeck Park project, and hopefully that you would stick to your original plans of pathways. And you had a parking lot there, but it has been rejected by the state because it was way too big. And I was wondering how you came to that number of cars, the original number of 400. That's an awful lot. I mean, it's twice as big as the hiking trails. Did you really expect that you were going to get that many hikers at one time, 400?
The number of cars to be parked will be 300. Not
300 now because it was rejected, right?
Right, but that's what it is, right? So that's
because it was overextending what the state thought was a good use of that property.
Okay,
So how did we?
We're at 300 now.
Yeah, but how did you come to the 400?
I
You didn't do a
wasn't
parking
involved.
study? Because I went by Saturday, there was plenty of parking, and someone said they maybe could accommodate concert goers. Is there any concert venue there? No?
There's a stage.
On-
There's a stage that for all our festivals.
Right, on the other side of the river, right? Not really in area 2 or 1. I'm just saying, and then you were saying you don't have any documentation. You filed the change of use with Green Acres, so you must have documentation.
This board doesn't do any of that work.
What board does?
That's
Administration.
We'll let the administrator, will you finish your remarks and then we'll let the administrator
This is my
respond?
remarks. I have a few questions, yeah.
Well, you have 3 minutes, so you want to.
What administration files a change of use in Green Acres applications?
That's done through the Parks Department, open space.
Okay. All right, so then we're just asking that you stick to the original plan, that you applied for Green Acres, for the walking paths, your descriptions of Area 2 and how it's providing multiple paths through the site to quiet, less visited natural areas with passive, unstructured recreation. Paths are used for walking, running, educational purposes, and dedicated public amenities and anemones such as outdoor classrooms, master garden areas, peace, natural observation, and particularly bird watching. So we're just asking you to stick to what you proposed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Midge Jorgensen?
Decline because my concerns have already been expressed very well by other people.
Thank you very much. Anybody else want to decline? I'm just Tammy Laverty? Tammy Laverty?
Go ahead.
Tammy, T-A-M-Y, Lavity,
L-A-V as in Victor, E-R-T-Y. Okay, I'm cutting my remarks short because people caught it, but I do want to tell you something that I feel about this. I feel myself as a protector of the vulnerable, and I feel that's the habitat and the wildlife. And I think my party is a protector of the environment and the vulnerable. And I just want you to know that it takes us to be proactive in this keeping open space, which you've done in many places. And I think this place is very important. And it's up to us to take care of those wildlife. There's nowhere else for them to go, to breed, and to stay with us. And we enjoy it. And even if I don't see it, knowing it's there, knowing the habitat is there, is a comfort to me. And that's what I wanted you to know.
Thank you, Mrs. Jorgensen. Laverty. Thank you, Mrs. Jorgensen. I can't read this name there.
Laurie Ludmere. Ludmer.
Hi, Laurie, L-A-U-R-I-E, Ludmer, L-U-D-M-E-R. I'm here because actually I was born in New York, and I moved to New Jersey. And New Jersey has a reputation, had a reputation as the Garden State. That is on, isn't that on the license? The Garden State. I object to public land being used for private use. The dinosaur park, where it is, can stay where it is, that's fine. But nothing that is a public, and you are representatives of the public. Public land is for the people. It's not for corporations. It's not for profit. What is a garden state has really, a lot of that has already been, as we know, has already been contaminated. Let's keep what we have. And I would very seriously think about that. Once the land is sold and used by private corporations, it does not come back to the people. Thank you.
Just a few things. The land's not being sold. It would be a lease, and it's not being sold. Where the park is, where the dinosaur park now is also on public property, so we're just moving it from one entity to the other, just so everyone's clear. Ted
Finkelstein.
Finkelstein?
T-E-D, and the last name F-I-N-K-E-L-S-T-E-I-N.
You gotta do a better job next time.
That's the best I could do. I was a teacher, so they have it. Real briefly, I'm not going to repeat everybody, but I do want to say I love amusement parks. I travel around the country going to amusement parks. I've seen that dinosaur park, and are we talking like 1955 technology that is really antiquated and broken down? And you see that in like the worst amusement parks in the middle of Pennsylvania. I mean, it's a disgraceful park. And I love amusement parks, and if that was fixed up and kept where it was, I probably would go. But I'm not going to repeat everybody. We need our open space, and to take that open space. And I've never been to a meeting like this before, but it's really, frankly, it would be shameful to get rid of that open space in Teaneck. I'm a Teaneck resident for almost 30 years. I love Overpeck Park. I love Puffin. I love what is going to be the potential for that land and to keep our animals safe. And that's it. Save our public lands.
Thank you. Edith Wallace. You have Beautiful penmanship, too.
Blame it on being a teacher, perhaps.
I could tell.
I'm a lifelong resident of Bergen County, more than 21 years, and we have parks. We didn't have county parks when I was a child here. I've lived in 5 different towns in Bergen County. I'm currently a resident of Fairlawn, and I got my absentee ballot the other day, and I took it to Area 1 of Overpeck Park, and now I'm switching from my role as a scientist to a storyteller. This is going to be a bit of fantasy. And I went to Overpeck Park, and I talked to a raccoon and a squirrel and a chipmunk. I talked to 2 birds, only 2 birds, and I asked them all the same thing. I said, I can't get into Area 2, but you have friends and relatives there. What's the buzz around here? And they said, please, please do your best to make sure that our friends and relatives keep their place of living in Area 2, not just a place to live, but also the plants, because all of the plants and all of the insects on the plants are our food. And so we hope that Area 2 will be left for the plants and the animals that are currently there.
So I've only been here for 4 years, but that was by far the best speech.
Can you ask her who the next meeting for the
And we will do our best to preserve as much of that open space as we possibly can, because that's what we do here. Dr. Francis Goldstein.
That's going to be tough to follow.
Yeah. Good evening. It's Francie, F-R-A-N-C-I-E, Goldstein, Goldstein, and I am an MD. And I wanted to put a few facts out for you guys and women, men and women, to consider as part of the decision-making process with regard to Area 2 of Overpeck Park. And that has to do with a cost analysis. And in both, I'm talking about economic and human, and specifically with health. Since I am a doctor, I'm a pediatric specialist. There have been multiple scientific studies, including one that just came out today in major medical journals, that show that children and adults who spend time in nature have better cognitive functioning, intellectual functioning, and emotional mental health, compared to whether they spend that time in more civilized settings such as streets or organized man-made environments. There are multiple reasons for it. I won't go into the science. But suffice it to say, this has been proven repeatedly in studies. So, given that we have an economic burden to educate our children and to keep our citizens healthy, we want to get the biggest bang for our bucks. So, from an economic standpoint, but also from a humanitarian standpoint, the best use of Area 2 would be to keep it natural. Okay, that will encourage children and adults to have a place to go to be around nature, to get more healthy, to get better ideas so they can work and function in a more healthy manner. Plastic dinosaurs, as one of the previous speakers said, is really not the best way for children to learn about paleontology. I agree that a museum would be far better where there are explanations and you're seeing real artifacts. So I urge you, please, to consider the human economic cost. It'll save a lot of money for kids to be healthier from the get-go. Also, it was mentioned before about the mosquito problem here. And I don't know if most of you are aware of the fact that the natural predators for mosquitoes are things such as bats, other insects, birds, fish, amphibians. Mosquitoes are their food. So if you want to save money by not having to buy insecticide and to spray contractors to do that, and the medical liability of spraying very poisonous chemicals where there are people who are medically vulnerable, which is really all of us, but specifically the elderly and children, I encourage you to increase biodiversity as much as possible by preserving natural environments, because those critters that are in natural environments are going to naturally eat those bad mosquitoes that are spreading Zika and Nile virus and other bad diseases. Thank you very much, and please think about what I said.
Thank you. Just to touch on the mosquitoes once again, these areas are not the ones created by the county here. Obviously, whatever municipality you live in, you have your own set of rules, and we're here to make sure that the problem doesn't get any further. So we are taking the mosquito situation very seriously, regardless of what's going to go on in Area 2. What's gone on already is something that we can't control, and we're going to do our best to fight it, and we're going to fight it vigorously. So may I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is closed to the public. Will the clerk please read the resolutions on the consent agenda?
The resolutions on the consent agenda are resolutions 887-18 through 958-18.
You guys don't have to leave. You can stay. May I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda as read by the clerk?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz?
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli?
Yes.
Freeholder Voss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zerk?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes.
7 ayes, the consent agenda passes.
Are there any resolutions pulled, postponed, or tabled? If so, will the clerk please read?
There are none.
We will now go on to our ordinances for first reading and introduction. Ordinance 1826, 1834, and 1835. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1826 by title only?
1826 is an ordinance establishing a minority business enterprise, women business enterprise, and veteran-owned business set-aside and joint venture program for the County of Bergen.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1826 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Aye.
Freeholder Vice Chairwoman Ortiz?
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli?
Yes.
Freeholder Voss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zerk?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1826 passes first reading.
Will the clerk read ordinance 1834 by title only?
1834 is a bond ordinance providing for the purchase and improvement of the real property located at 39 Hudson Street, Hackensack, New Jersey, by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $4,200,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4 million bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1834 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz?
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli?
Yes.
Freeholder Voss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zerk?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1834 passes first reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1835 by title only?
1835 is an ordinance appropriating $3 million available in the capital fund to provide for bridge and culvert improvements in the County of Bergen.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1835 as read by the clerk?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans?
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz?
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli?
Yes.
Freeholder Voss?
Yes.
Freeholder Zerk?
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan?
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1835 passes first reading.
We'll now go on to our ordinances for second reading and adoption. Ordinance 1828 through 1833. Will the clerk read ordinance 1828 by title only?
1828 is an ordinance establishing a speed limit along Park Avenue in the borough of Park Ridge. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1828 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 1828:2-17 on Friday, September 7th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1828 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit in effect to speak about ordinance 1828 only. At this time, the board attorney will keep the time. Is there anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 1828?
Mr. Chairman, just briefly.
Yes.
As we were in Park Ridge last week, this is something that's vital to this community to make this area safe. I'm really proud of this administration and this board for taking this activity this evening to make sure that the residents of Park Ridge, who were so vocal last week, have this speed limit lowered. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak? May I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1828?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion?
Sorry, I jumped the gun.
No, I just want to reiterate what Freeholder Zor said. We were on the road in Park Ridge. Thank you to Freeholder Finelli and Freeholder Zor for coming up with the idea of going on the road. And we couldn't have gone on the road at a better time for a better ordinance. There was some accidents on that road, serious accidents. The town's been pushing and pushing, and we made it happen. And along with Park Ridge Mayor Keith Mishagna and his mayor and council, I just want to say thank you for your input, and thank you to this board for passing this. Freeholder Finelli.
Yeah, Chairman, thank you. I just wanted, you mentioned the mayor. I just want to thank the mayor for his input. As we all know on this board, and we try and express to the people that come up and ask us for things of this nature, that it starts at the local municipality. They're the ones that are on the ground every day. They're the ones that see the difference. In this particular instance, it's 25 on the other two ends of the street. It made really no sense on the county road that it wasn't changed. So it was a great move for us, but I just want to thank the mayors and the council in these towns for taking a participating role.
Thank you, Freeholder. As Freeholder pointed out, it's the duty of the mayor and council to bring this to us. We don't go out looking for it. You know your towns better, and thank you for bringing it to us. Now, at this time, I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1828 as is read by the clerk.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gams.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1828 is adopted.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1829 by title only?
1829 is a bond ordinance amending bond ordinances described in Section 1 herein, all to provide a $2,098,913.07 supplemental appropriation for and amend the description of the project authorized in Section 3 of Bond Ordinance Number 635, finally adopted on December 20th, 2006. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1829 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 7th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1829 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit in effect to speak on about ordinance 1829 only. Board attorney will keep the time. Is there anyone wishing to speak on ordinance 1829? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1829?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on ordinance 1829? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1829 as is read by the clerk?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gams.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zer.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1829 is adopted.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1830 by title only?
1830 is a bond ordinance amending Section 3A of Bond Ordinance Number 820, finally adopted on June 4th, 2008, in order to revise project description referred to therein. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1830 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 7th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1830 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The hearing is now open. Is there anyone wishing to speak on 1830? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1830?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on ordinance 1830? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1830 as was read by the clerk?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1830 is adopted.
Thank you. You guys okay? Ken, you all right? Okay. Will the clerk read ordinance 1831 by title only?
1831 is an ordinance reappropriating $147,575.74 proceeds of obligations not needed for their original purposes in order to provide for landfill and capping improvements at Overpeck County Park by the County of Bergen. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1831 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 7th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1831 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 1831? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1831?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on 1831? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1831 as was read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1831 is adopted.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1832 by title only?
1832 is a bond ordinance amending Section 3A of Bond Ordinance Number 918, finally adopted on June 24th, 2009, in order to revise project descriptions referred to therein. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1832 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 7th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1832 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit on ordinance 1832. Would anyone like to speak? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1832?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on ordinance 1832? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1832 as was read by the clerk?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso?
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 yeses, 1832 is adopted.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1833 by title only?
1833 is a bond ordinance providing for the purchase of school buses for the county special services and vocational school districts by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $280,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $266,500 bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1833 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 7th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1833 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 1833? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1833?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussions on 1833? I would just like to bring to light that these new buses are going to contain the harness seat belts. We did look into retrofitting some, but there has not been a definitive way that the retrofitting could go. So for public safety reasons, we have purchased some extra buses with the over-the-shoulder harnesses to make sure our children are safe. Does anyone else have anything to add? Okay. May I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1833 as was read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoruso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Most definitely.
With 7 yeses, 1833 is adopted.
Thank you. That concludes our ordinances. We will now have the Freeholder Committee reports unless someone...
Chairman, I make a motion, we suspend reports tonight.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Should have roll call, Chairman.
Okay, I was going to do that after all in favor, but roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Okay.
Freeholder Gans.
No.
Freeholder Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
No.
Chairman Sullivan.
In light of the long meeting and everything we've been through today, I vote yes. I do know that Freeholder Zur would just like to make a statement for the record.
I just want to announce that on October 4th, we're having our first ever GSA Summit. This was an idea that came out of the Pride flag raising that was run by the LGBTQ Advisory Committee, which I'm a liaison to, and we thought that maybe we'd get maybe 70 kids in a room and some advisors. We have 201 kids registered as of today with 50 advisors with participation from 26 schools, over half the high schools in the county, 41 different towns represented. We are so excited to kind of get these kids together so that they can learn from each other as well as learn that they're not alone. And we are so excited to see what is going to happen on October the 4th. So thank you, Chairman, for giving me that opportunity.
There be nothing further to come before this meeting. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned at 9:08 p.m. Thank you.